Hello and welcome to another episode of Jaws 19. If you like what you see today, please don't forget to subscribe. Now, when we talk about horror movies, we all think of our favourite villains, don't we? Whether it's the classic black and whites of Dracula and the Mummy and the Wolfman, through to the lurid hammer horrors of the 60s and 70s, right onto the icons of 80s slashers like Freddy, Chucky and Jason. We've all got our favourite movie monsters. But we're talking about an all the more scary group of monsters today, those that you can't see. Our first film rejuvenated the found footage genre and virtually invented the idea of viral marketing. In 1999, the Blair Witch Project proved that cinema could once again be scary. It was presented as genuine recovered footage from the video cameras of 3 missing teenagers. The actors were deliberately distressed and disoriented by the directors, and much of their dialogue and reactions were improvised on the spot. Paranormal Activity was released in 2007 and shares many similarities with the Blair Witch Project. It was presented as found footage, and the principal actors were only given outlines to work to rather than finished scripts, and like the Blair Witch Project, it was hugely profitable. It's the story of a young and happy couple, Katie and Mika, whose lives are disrupted and ultimately destroyed by an unseen malevolent force in their house. Now, Mika's initially fascinated by the events and sets up video cameras and uses a Ouija board at one point, but Katie becomes more and more unravelled as events unfold. On the face of it, 2000's Final Destination behaves like a traditional horror film, with a roster of teenagers whose head count is gradually reduced one by one. Our heroes are set to board a flight to France for a school trip, when Alex is petrified by a premonition that they'll all die in a horrible explosion. They miss their flight only to see Alex's vision come horribly true. So what sets this film apart for me is the inventiveness with which the different victims are dispatched. Every innocent household item or mundane situation is imbued with evil intentions as we look around the screen to see what means death for the next victim. In 2014, It Follows gave us a new and interesting take on the movie monster. A young woman is pursued by an unknown supernatural force after a sexual encounter in a car. She soon discovers that it has been passed on to her like a virus, and that she must herself pass it on, or it will catch and kill her. Now, we never really see what form it takes. It shows up as different things to different people throughout the film. What makes it particularly effective is that it doesn't chase or pursue, it just plods and takes all the time that it needs. Our final film probably has more theories, books and documentaries about it than any other horror. In 1980, Stanley Kubrick gave us his adaptation of Stephen King's The Shining. And in a career-defining performance, Jack Nicholson plays writer Jack Torrance, who takes a job to look after the remote Overlook Hotel through a harsh winter. Now, without any explicit explanation, Jack's mental state begins to deteriorate as time goes on and the weather worsens. Did the isolation cause his breakdown? Was he possessed by the spirits of previous occupants? All we know is that Jack is murderously intent on slaying Danny and Wendy as he pursues them through the corridors of the hotel. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Jaws 19. If you did, give us a like and subscribe down below, and come and see us on Twitter at Jaws19 Show. We'll see you on the next one.